This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. Yesterday, we had done Power BI demo part number one. So today is part number two. Am I clear? So yesterday I spoken about why Power BI, why BI is more important nowadays, and what is Hadoop, what is BI, what is data warehousing. So where and all we can store the data. So lot many things we discussed yesterday, right? So guys, hope uh, this was the notes, right? So what is the data? What is the size? Lot of things we discussed yesterday, right? So what is the data science and what is data analytics? Data analytics also called as business intelligence. So to learn, data analytics, you need to learn all these things. So that is what we discussed. When you have less amount of data, you can store the data into Excel sheets, and when you have GBs of data, you should be able to store the data in the SQL and RDBMS softwares. And if you wanted to process the data, so you can use any front-end language like Java, .NET, Python, Android, C++, any language can be used, right? But if you have more than GBs of data, where can we store the data? So when you have terabytes of data, millions of data, so that can be stored into a data warehousing machines. So what is a data warehouse? Warehouse means go down. So in a big hardware, when you have SQL software, SQL means any software you can install, Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, Teradata, any software you can install, but hardware is too big. Clear? So when you have so much of a data, so creating a Java .NET program and writing so much of code is difficult. We wanted to have a simplified program. So that is where BI, tools or softwares got introduced into the market. And we have SAP BI, SAS BI, OBI, MS BI, Power BI. Lot of tools have been, introduced into the market nowadays. So today, let us understand the difference between MS BI and Power BI, and we'll also see what is SAP BA, SAS BA, OBA, and Tableau BA. Tableau is also BA technology, Tableau BA, right? So we have MS BA, Power BA, Tableau BA. All these are BA technologies, okay? Tableau BA, Crystal reports, lot of things are available, right? But when you have data not in the terabytes, data is in petabytes and zettabytes and utabytes and eulabytes. So this kind of a data is called as unlimited data. Simply, we are calling this data as a big data. So when you have a large amount of data, data warehouse software cannot store the data. So that is where we have to go into Hadoop. Clear? Hadoop is a new software. So it is almost introduced in 2002 onwards, but it became so popular 2012. Clear? So 2002, Google, company was using Hadoop technology. So not exactly the same as Hadoop, but that, the technology they were, trying to use in 2002 onwards. Clear? But 2012, it became so popular, you can store large amount of data. So this is what is called limited data you can store, right? If you wanted to store unlimited data is called as a big data, right? The companies, think about facebook.com, think about google.com, think about quicker, Twitter, and all these companies are getting large amount of data. So this data, we will not be able to store them in a data warehouse, and definitely we cannot, perform data analytics or data science applications, right? So data science application needs data, and a data analytics application needs data. So where is the data? The data may be in Excel, the data may be in SQL Server, or maybe in Oracle, maybe in Teradata, or data may be in data warehousing, or data may be in Hadoop systems. Clear? Clear? So if you don't have the data, definitely you will not be able to perform data analytics in applications, or you cannot perform machine learning or artificial intelligence data science applications. You cannot create them. Clear? So we need data. What kind of a data we need to have? We have to have historical data. We have to have what? What kind of a data we should have? Historical data. So using Excel sheets, you can perform data science application, right? You can perform machine learning algorithms, artificial intelligence when you have the data in Excel itself. Or you can also create a beautiful reports, and you can also create data analytics. Data analytics means understanding the past. Or we can take data from Oracle, data from SQL Server, data from Teradata, or you can take the data from data warehousing, or you can also take the data from Hadoop. So Hadoop is going to be storing the data in HDFS, and which is going to be processing the data with the help of a MapReduce. Clear? So that is what. So storing purpose, we have these many technologies. But if I store the data, nobody is going to be creating a summary, right? Yesterday we were talking about summary. Do you remember? So we have detailed data. We have a summary called as a dashboard. So I have to create different reports, and I wanted to submit data to my boss. My boss means my management. Clear? We are completely technical guys. We always get the data, clean the data, store the data, we process the data. Process means simply a summing operation I'm talking about. For example, I have data, I have 10 and a 20. What is this? These are data. What is the processing means? Processing means what is the total? Total is 30. Clear? But this is what is called a raw data. This is what is called a data. Data is I have two numbers, but you think I have 2 billion numbers, or you have 20 billion rows. Now what will happen when you have 20 billion rows and I have to do the summing operation? What is summing operation? It is a process, right? So I'm thinking about simple a sum operation. Sum operation is a process. Or I can think about, I want to find out the average, I want to find out the minimum, I wanted to find out the maximum, I wanted to count number of rows which are available. So all these things comes under process. Clear? But I have 2 billion data. I have to know what is the total sales. I wanted to know what is the average sales. I wanted to know what is the minimum sales. I wanted to know what is the maximum sales. I wanted to know number of customers in the new customers in this data. So this is what is called data. When you have two numbers, I can do manually 10 plus 20 is 30. If I have 10 rows, what I do, I simply use a calculator. Or if I use 10,000 numbers, I can use Excel sheet. But if I use 2 billion data, 3 billion data, can I use Excel sheet? Can I use Excel sheet? Definitely, you will not be able to use Excel sheets. You have to have bigger machines. First store the data, and to process, you need to have again different tools. Clear? When you have limited data, you can store the data in data warehousing, and you can process the data with the help of this. And when you have unlimited data, we're talking about only these numbers. So you can store the unlimited data in HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system, and you should be able to process the data with the help of MapReduce. Clear? So how MapReduce is going to work, that you will be learning as part of Hadoop. Clear? So this is what. So MapReduce is a program which is completely based out of Java program. Clear? So this is going to be taking the data, extracting the data, computer, doing the computations, calculations. All these things can be done with the help of a MapReduce. That's it. It is simply this kind of an operation. Processing means this kind of an operations can be done on the large amount of data. Clear? So guys, yes, yeah, any other question you have? Yeah. If not, so yesterday I was talking about, right? If you learn Power BI, will you get a job? Answer is no. I asked you to check in the Google Naukri.com. Have you checked it? So many, people called me yesterday and they told me they have gone through the Naukri.com, and every time people are asking not only Power BI. So today also, I think I had shown you, right? When you go to Naukri.com and say, so Naukri is India. Naukri.com is India's job portal, right? So you can go and you can look for Power BI jobs. Okay, Power BI jobs where in Hyderabad, India, wherever you would like to have it, you can have it. So search. Clear. So now you click on Power BI developer, right? Now you see what is that they need. Power BI is needed, SQL Server is needed, and SSRS is needed, SSIS is needed. Okay. So it is a company called Infoway Group, and 4 to 9 years of experience, Noida, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Secunderabad. So this is where they have the opportunity. So now we have Power BI job in Bangalore. Let me click on this. So now they're saying you need to know DAX, you need to know data warehousing, you need to know SSAS Power BI, you need to know SQL performance, and right. So and these people are also asking Azure. So Azure, as of now, we can just leave it. So people are asking a lot of things. Have you seen this? So only Power BI getting job is very, very difficult. Now Power BI, Bangalore, and Power BI, SSRS, and cloud Azure. Okay. So and again they're saying ETL tool, right? So ETL tool means what? Data warehousing. So ETL, have you seen this? Click on Power BI developer. You have to know these technologies. Now they're saying Power BI, SSRS, SQL. So all these things you should know. They're saying knowledge on SQL queries, SSRS, SSIS is required, Power BI is required, right? So like that ETL framework, what is ETL? ETL is called SSIS. So you cannot get purely Power BI developer jobs. They'll say Power BI developer, it includes a lot of other things. Now Power BI developer, now click on this. So they're clearly saying Power BI reports model, DAX, Power Query, then a T-SQL, store procedures, functions. All these are part of SSAS tabular model. This is a SQL Server, right? So if somebody says if you learn Power BI, you'll get a job. 100% fake. 100% fake, right? Whatever you would like to click on, so whatever you want to have, so click on this Power BI developer, C360 Software India Private Limited, Hyderabad, right? So SSRS, SSIS is needed. So whatever you want to do, click on. They'll say BA developer. Clear? So SQL Server integration services, analysis services, tabular model reporting services, OLAP, ETL framework. Definitely, definitely, with the Power BI only, you will not be able to get the job at all. So be sure and ask the people to look into the job portals first. End of the day, you need a job. You don't need to complete the training, right? Complete of training is good, but end of the day, you need to be placed into the companies, right? So that time you should not get a shock saying that I should also learn SQL and T-SQL. I should also learn data warehousing. I should also learn, you know. So many people are wrongly saying that if you know basics of SQL, that is sufficient. Is it basics of SQL? Writing a stored procedure, is it a basic of SQL? So people are completely misguiding, and people are saying MSBI is old technology, Power BI is new technology. You learn Power BI because Power BI is replacement for MSBI. That is completely wrong. Power BI is not a replacement for MSBI. Power BI is enhancement to SSRS. Remember this. So today I'll be discussing, if somebody says you will get a job in Power BI, non-technical people also can understand. Power BI means yes, anybody can understand. But the truth is that ask them to Naukri, ask them to go to Naukri.com and open only Power BI. No jobs are available. Power BI needs lot of other technologies that you have to cover. Clear, guys? So as we discussed yesterday, so it will be 35 hours, class. Daily 1 hour will be there. Morning 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Monday to Friday classes will be there. Saturday, Sunday, no classes. Clear? Remember, strictly Saturday, Sunday, you don't have any classes, and the timings are completely the same timings. Clear? So daily videos are I'm going to be posting. You must download the video on the same day. The next day, this video will get deleted. If you ask me after 1 week, sir, I missed the video number one, can you give it to me? I simply ignore that message. I will not talk to you also, because daily videos need to be, it will be uploaded. You have to download within 1 or 2 days. If you forget, you will be the loser. We are not going to share once again, because different people will ask at different times, sir, I did not do this, I did not do that. So we don't entertain. So when you get this one, you need to download the video and keep it with you forever. Clear? So real-time topics are covered. CV preparation guidance is given at the end. So we have 24 by 7 lab support will be given. The complete, opportunities you will have. So Ram is asking like Power BI development opportunities. What type of testing roles on Power BI? So you need to have testing, right? BI testing will be there. ETL testing roles are available, and you have reporting testing and data warehousing testing roles are available. Ram, clear? Yeah. Now, MSBI data warehousing, Power BI. So, what are the things we are going to be covering? I have also, kept it in this slide. So, Power BI course contains 35 days course, daily 1 hour, Monday to Friday. So, Power BI with the DAX model we're going to be dealing with. SSAS tabular model will be dealt, and data warehousing concept are going to be covered under this course. What is not covered, I'm clearly writing. Not included in this course, SQL Server, no live classes we don't have. You can buy videos and learn. Clear? I told you we have approximately 40 plus videos are available. So you cannot say, I will learn, I know basics of SQL. Basics will not work. I'm repeating this. If anybody under that concept, not if I know simply dropping a table, creating a table means will not work at all. You need to know in depth of SQL Server. Clear? So no live classes for me. You can buy videos from us and you can start practicing them. So these are the videos created for non-technical people. You can easily understand. You can easily understand what is RDBMS, what is SQL Server. No live classes, by me, but we have other faculties who's teaching. If you wanted to attend, those classes, you can attend live classes, but no live classes I'm taking currently for SQL Server. And MSBI is also not included in this course. If you wanted to have MSBI, and live classes are going on morning 8 a.m. IST Indian Standard Timing, or you can also buy videos and you can work on this. So MSBI has SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS. So we are going to be covering SSAS multi-dimensional model. Actually, SSAS has two things. Clear? So it has two things. One is called multidimensional model and one is called tabular model. Clear? So remember, SSAS has two topics. One is called multi-dimensional model, and the second one is called tabular model. So we discuss one by one. So don't worry about these jargons, these things. You need not worry about nothing. Clear? We will be discussing one by one. So SSAS tabular model will come in this course. But when you learn MSBA, SSIS, this is ETL software. Clear? And this we are going to be discussing SSAS multi-dimensional model. So here we are going to be discussing about MDX and all other stuff. This is what is called reporting tool we are discussing. Clear? What is Power BI? What is Power BI? Power BI is advanced tool to SSRS. That's it. Okay. So what is Power BI? Power BI is advanced version of SSRS. Remember this point. Clear? Power BI is not replacement for MSBI. MSBI is collection of three tools: SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS. Am I clear? What is Power BI? Power BI is advanced version of reporting tool. That's it. Okay. So Power BI needs SSIS supports. Power BI needs SSAS supports. Tabular model. Sometimes it may use. Sometimes it may use multi-dimensional model as well, and we need to have data warehousing concepts. Am I clear, guys? So definitely, what is that we are going to be covering, what is that we are not including? SQL Server, you can buy videos and practice, and currently you can attend Power BI course. Later you can join MSBA course. Okay, so after Power BI is over, 1 month or 1.5 month, you will complete Power BI, right? You can join for the MSB. So you can learn any tool anytime. You can learn SSRS first, you can learn SSAS later, you can learn SSIS later. So any tool you can learn anytime. But only prerequisite is that you have to learn SQL Server. It is compulsory. Whether you learn Power BI or whether you learn MSBI, what is compulsory? SQL Server is compulsory. And always you need to put more efforts in SQL Server. For example, if you're, Power BI daily, if you practice 1 hour, that is sufficient. But SQL Server, you need to practice 2 hours till end. Remember this. So more efforts you need to put into SQL Server. If you're, daily, if you're putting 1 hour, that is sufficient for MSBI, right? But daily, more effort you need to put it where? Not in MSBI, not Power BI, not in this. So more effort should go to where? SQL Server. Remember, if you're putting 2 hours here, you need to put 4 hours here. Clear? So that is what is very, very important. You should not underestimate SQL Server. Don't say that SQL Server basics are enough to get a job. No. SQL Server advanced concepts are important. I have created a videos for non-technical people. Anybody can understand SQL Server. You buy the videos and you put more time to the SQL Server, less time to Power BI and MSBI, guys. If you put 1 hour daily, you put 2 hours here. If you putting 2 hours for Power BI and you put 4 hours for the SQL Server, that is what is the importance, guys. Am I clear? And don't say that I don't have time, sir, I will not work on. Clear? So even though you're not working on Power BI, you're simply attending the classes, don't worry. But daily you need to watch SQL Server videos and write the notes without fail. And after this class, you talk to me and you tell me, sir, I have watched one SQL Server video. I did not understand the some point. Can I, share my screen? I would like to talk to you. You're welcome. Even though you're buying videos from me, I will be able to give you help after this class, or after 10 o'clock, I'll be having some free time. I can again connect to you with the same meeting ID. I can give you a lot of clarifications. I don't have any kind of an issues. Clear? Even though you're buying videos, I'm there to help you. But continuously you must work on the SQL Server, and SQL Server software needs to be installed, guys. Okay, so Power BI software, how to download the software, how to install, tomorrow I will be teaching in the class. But you have to install SQL Server, and let us understand what is a SQL Server and everything today. Clear? Now, so we have a SQL Server from Microsoft, right? I told you SQL Server is current version is 2020, yeah, 2019. But let us understand SQL Server history. So SQL Server is from Microsoft, right? Let us understand some history about SQL Server. The first version is created in 1989 by Microsoft, which is a purely RDBMS tool. Tool means a software. Clear? So SQL Server, the first version is released in 1989 by Microsoft. Relational database management system tool or software, so which can store the data. Clear? You can retrieve the data. RDBMS means I told you, which is a concept, right? SQL Server is a software, right? Banking is just, banking is what? Banking is a concept. So HDFS Bank or Citibank, these are the companies where you can have the amount can be deposited there, amount can be withdrawn there. So what is a SQL Server? Which is a software. What you can do, you can deposit the data, you can retrieve the data. That's it. RDBMS means only two things it can do. What RDBMS can do? It can store data and you can retrieve data. Remember this point. RDBMS can do only this. We have Oracle, we have SQL Server, we have Teradata. A lot of RDBMS tools are available. You go to ICICI Bank, State Bank of India, Citibank, Deutsche Bank, Axis Bank, or any bank you go. What are we going to do? We are going to be depositing the currency there and withdraw money there. So here SQL Server is a software, RDBMS is a software which can store the data, retrieve the data. So the next version got released. Okay. So the next version is 3.0, then 5.0, then 7.0, then SQL Server 2000 got released. So this is got released in the year 2000. Clear? Now, till this is purely RDBMS software. Clear? Now, later, SQL Server 2005 is released. So the year number says that it is released in year 2005. Now, which is RDBMS software, that means which can store the data, retrieve the data. In this software, Microsoft is added MSBI. So SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS is added. Clear? So what is SS? SS stands for SQL Server. What is SS? SQL Server, Integration Services, SQL Server Analysis Services, SQL Server Reporting Services. These are the three tools Microsoft is added in the SQL Server 2005 version. Clear? So MSBI is not a separate software which is going to be getting installed when you install SQL Server 2005. So MSBI is introduced Microsoft Business Intelligence. So SSIS is a ETL tool, analysis tool, and reporting tool. So in this, they have added multi-dimensional cube. Okay, you don't understand what is multi-dimensional everything, we'll discuss later. So remember this point later. So 2008 SQL Server 2008 software got released, then 2008 R2. So this software is released in 2010. Clear? R2 means release 2. Clear? It is got released in 2010. The next version got released in 2012. Inside, so as it is, so let me write. So what is that? The modifications the people are adding. So this got released in 2012. In this, we already have everything. SSAS multidimensional model is there. And here they have added one more model called tabular model. Clear? So SSAS has two models. What are these models? We'll discuss. One is called multidimensional model, and SSAS tabular model is also introduced in a 2012 along with MSBI. Now SSAS has two components. Clear? So this model we're going to be using and as part of a Power BI. Clear? So this is what in SQL Server 2012 onwards. The next version is 2014, then we have 2016, then next version is 2017, the latest version is 2019. Clear? So if you go in for this latest version, so these things will get installed in your in your computer. Clear? So you have MSBI, SSIS, SSAS multi-dimensional model, and SSAS tabular model, which got introduced in SQL Server 2012, and you have SSRS is also there. Am I clear? So this is what is all about SQL Server history. SQL Server, when you install, you should be able to get all these four tools. This one tool plus MSBI is having SSIS and SSAS, and SSRS will get installed in your computer. Clear? So this is will get installed. Now, what are the software requirement? You need to have Windows 10, and you need to have minimum 2 GB of RAM, and any processor you can have it. There's no problem, and you can have hard disk capacity is a minimum very little. So if you have 100 GB also fine. Clear? So these are the requirements you need to have. So Windows 10 2 GB from any processor hard disk, then you get the software from my team. You can talk to my team. So my team will can give you the software. So 96421, this number you can just ping them, 96421 So after you making the payment, they'll give you the software. They will tell you how to install the software. You have to install the software by today or tomorrow or by this weekend without fail. Clear? Without SQL Server, we cannot do anything. Anyhow, you should also practice SQL Server, right? So definitely you will be able to call this number 96421 and fees details also you can reach this number, guys. Clear? So they will tell you you should be able to get the software install in your laptop. So you need to install SQL Server 2019 plus MS Office you have to install without fail 2007 or later. Okay, so if you don't have this, you can talk to my team, they'll give you. And you need to have PDF is installed. WinZip also you must install. WinZip, it is in a zipping software. WinRAR, so these softwares you must install along with your SQL Server 2019. And you must have Windows 10. If you have Windows 7, it cannot work. So you will be able to get MSB and everything. So tomorrow we will install Power BI. Power BI you have to download from Google. Clear? It will take 10 minutes. Power BI we will install it tomorrow. Clear? So it is a separate software from Google itself we will be installing. So guys, can you hear me? If not,
Yes, we can hear.
Kiran, disconnect and connect once again. If not, please can you disconnect and connect once again if you're not able to hear me. Clear? So Power BI is a separate software that we're going to be installing tomorrow. So you need to Google it and download it. Okay. So this is a separate software. We have to Google it and download it. It is not, a replacement for MSBA. MSBA is having three tools: SSIS, SSAS, and SSRS. Reporting tool we have SSRS, right? It is advanced version of a Power BI. Power BI is a competitor to Tableau. Okay, the competitor to ClickView. ClickView is a reporting tool, or we have a ClickSense. Clear? So Power BI is not a replacement for MSBI. Power BI is purely reporting tool. This is a reporting tool, data visualization tool, right? So which is advanced to SSRS, which is a competitor to Tableau, which is a competitor to ClickView and ClickSense, like this software, right? Any other questions, guys? Somebody's unmuted the mic. Yeah, clear. So Power BI need to be installed separately. That we will be installing and will be, doing it. But you can install MSBA and RDBMS software by installing 2019 software. Am I clear? Now let us understand what is the difference between these softwares. Okay, versus this software. SAP BI, Oracle BI versus MSBI and Power BI. Then we'll discuss about the next ones. Okay, SAP BI, Power BI versus MSBI. I'll say MSBI plus Power BI. It is not MSBI or not, Power BI. Many people will say like this. It is not. It is or, right? MSBI or Power BI. It is not or. It is a plus. Okay, you can say MSBI plus Power BI. MSBA is plus Power BI, you should know. SAP BA, SAS BA, OBI, or you can say any other. So this is only one tool. What is that tool? All these are having simply reporting tool. And these are very, very costly. If you learn SAP BA or SAS BA or OBI, what will happen? You will be learning end of the day reporting tool, and it will take 2 months to learn. Clear? But if you learn Power BI or MS BI, you will be learning three tools here, because SSIS you are learning, SSAS you are learning, SSRS or Power BI you will be learning. Clear? So SSRS or Power BI or RS plus also Power BI, that is your choice. Clear? So end of the day, you will be learning three skills here. Clear? So that's what is very, very important. Plus you will be learning SQL Server software, plus you will be learning data warehousing. You can become a multi-skilled guy. These guys are only working on the single tool, because a single learning single skilled people are definitely will get less opportunities, and this is very, very costly, right? Before Power BI, Tableau was rocking into the market, but unfortunately Tableau was a reporting tool, and which was very, very costly, very, very costly. Many people now, they are not going to Tableau, because of Tableau, as I told you, Tableau is competitor to, Power BI is competitor to Tableau, and Power BI is very, very cheaper, inexpensive software. Many companies are replacing, Tableau with the Power BI, and you can also work with the Power BI, SSRS, SSAS, SSIS, SQL Server, data warehousing. So automatically more opportunities, because if you wanted to get the jobs, you need to have good skill, right? The problem is not the BTechs or MTech. The problem is people do not have good skills. Skill is the problem. Why all Power BI guys are not getting job? There is no problem with Power BI job. The problem is These guys are not learning skills. They don't have the proper skill, or they are learning only the basic Power BI. So end of the day, it is not a BTech or BCom, or whether you have 10 years or 5 years. This is not going to give you a job. End of the day, it will give you what kind of a skill you have. You need to put your amount, money, energy to learn the skills. Not only one skill, in depth of the skills you need to learn. You need to have multiple skills, right? We need more, we don't need graduates. We need more skilled people. Remember this point. We don't need BCom graduates. We don't need BTech graduates. We don't need, MTech graduates. People are saying, I have done my BTech, I have done my MTech, but what is the skill set you have? They don't know anything about. They don't have communication skills. They don't have in depth of knowledge. Skill is where the entire, industry is losing, right? So you have the, even though you're learning Power BI, but not in depth of Power BI. Even though you're learning, SQL Server, not in depth of SQL Server. We don't need graduates. We don't need top rankers. We need completely in depth of skilled people. Skill is the important technology. Clear? So you people are, wrongly cheated by wrong faculties, because if you learn wrong technology and if you don't learn the technology in depth, so end of the day, nothing will happen. I had seen people, failed in BTechs, right? And they're working as in a companies with good salaries, 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, by learning these technologies. End of the day, if you learn a skill, we need a skilled people, not the, graduates, BTechs, MTechs, and 90%, those kind of people we don't need. IT industry does not need that kind of a people. You need to have multiple skills and in depth of skilled people we need. So you need to improve the skill. Don't compare a Power BI is 2000 rupees there, Power BI is 3000 rupees there. I will join 600 rupees Power BI course. So you can understand what is the tech, what kind of teaching you will get it there. Clear? So every time you cannot compare with the money, compare with the teaching, compare with the skill, and you need to survive in the IT industry next 10 to 20 years, right? So if you learn the basic courses and basic faculties, they will tell you wrong things. They don't give you complete information, and you people are going and learning this kind of a technologies there. End of the day, you are not going to get a job. Even though you get a job, you cannot survive in the company because you're completely very basic knowledge you will have it. So those are not going to teach, but you will be under them, right? So when you go in for a wrong faculties, wrong institutions, end of the day you don't learn anything. So every time you pay 1,000 rupees and 10 times you learn 10,000 rupees is lost, then 10 1 year time is waste. Then you don't get any job, and your parents, your teachers will say that this guy will not learn technology. This guy does not know anything. This guy is useless guy, right? So don't take the wrong institutions. Don't always compare only the money. You also have the what kind of skills they're teaching, and are you able to understand everything clearly or not? That is also very, very important, guys. Clear? So when you learn MSBA Power BI, you are learning skills. So skills are very, very important than the graduations or BTech in 90%, 100% gold medalist. That is not at all important. You may be BCom guy, doesn't matter. You may be 2006 7 passed out, it doesn't matter. Do you have enough skills? Do you have enough knowledge? Then you are there to get into the IT industry, and IT industry will give you many opportunities. There is a saying, if you don't get a job anywhere, definitely you get a job in IT industry, right? If you don't get a job in anywhere, definitely you will get a job in IT industry. But the question is that, do you have proper skills, in depth of knowledge? Did you undergo good trainings? If yes, then IT industry is there for you, and it will give you a lot of opportunities, guys. Clear? Now, this is what is called MSBA, and many companies are moving, and it is one third cost of the above tools. Clear? So when the companies are implementing SAP BA, SAS BA, OBI, or Hadoop, and no, sorry, not Hadoop, it is a Tableau, and these technologies are very, very costly. Many companies are implementing this kind of a technologies. So many developers lost the jobs in SAP BA, SAS BA, OBA, Tableau BA. Many people are losing and getting the opportunities. Clear? But let us understand what is MSBA versus Power BI. Clear PBI. Let me take and we'll complete the demo today. Now, you take any company, you think about Amazon.com, you think about Apollo Hospitals, you think about Walmart, you think about Netflix, you think about Citibank, any company, every company will have a data, right? Every company will have a data. Now, the data itself has a lot of challenges. For example, you go to Amazon.com, you ask them, where is your data? Amazon is having a lot of business all over the world. India, Amazon is selling a lot of products. Dubai, Middle East, and Europe, America, everywhere the Amazon is doing very good business. Apollo hospitals in India, in Asia, in China, in many places, Apollo healthcare and Apollo hospitals are doing very good business. Like that, if you go to any company, what is the challenges that have the data of the company is not there in a single location. The location is the issue. Some of the data of Amazon company, let us think about Amazon company. Amazon is having lot of data in India because we are, Amazon is doing a lot of business in India, lot of data in US, lot of data in UK, lot of data in Dubai, like that. So Amazon data is not there in a single place. Clear? So they have different servers, different places, and different environments where they have data. Clear? So, and where is the data available? And India, they're implementing data completely into Java. In US, these are having .NET servers. Clear? And if you go to Dubai, they're storing some of the data in Excel sheets. And if you go to some other country, they're storing some data in the flat files. Flat file means what? Flat files are called as text files or called as a notepads. Clear? So what is a notepad? Whatever I'm typing, this is my notepad, right? So what I'm typing, this is notepad. Notepads are called as a text files or the flats files. So a company data may be in different location, company data maybe in different environment, Java, .NET, Excel, flat file. Some of the data is also available in Android applications, right? And iOS. So data is available like this. So all the data belong to a company called Amazon.com. Clear? And they have different sizes of data. Clear? If you come to India, the Amazon is doing fantastic work. You have large size data. If you go to, let us say, some other in a place, they're having not very high level data, but a medium level data. If you go to Middle East, maybe they are not doing very good. Small amount of data from Middle East. Middle East means I'm talking about Dubai and Saudi Arabia, these countries, Yemen. So where the sales is not so good, so they have a small kind of a data sets. Clear? So that size of the data may be large amount of data. The data may be medium size data, small size data. The company is getting every month or every quarter or every year. Clear? And what is the accuracy of the data? What is the accuracy of the data? The data may be highly cleaned data. It is high cleaned data because it is ready to cook food, kind of very cleaned data, or it is medium cleaned data, or it is data is completely not very good data. Sometimes we will be having lot of bad data as well. Clear? So what do you mean by that? So you may have lot of duplicated data. Duplicate rows are available, lot of misspelled data you may be getting it, right? Lot of blank values are available, and a lot of data is not correctly stored. Wrong values are stored, okay? Wrong values are stored in the data. So you may be having lot of issues with the data. Clear? If the data itself is not a cleaned data, whatever is wrong, great. So you're trying to create a business analytics application tomorrow. You're getting the data from Amazon. Amazon is giving low level accuracy data. That means lot of duplicates are available, lot of wrong values are inserted in the data. You have taken the wrong data. By taking wrong data as an input, if you create a good report tomorrow, what will happen? you will have wrong output. If you give wrong output, based on that, people will take wrong decisions. Clear? So whatever goes in is wrong, comes out will be wrong. Clear? So you cannot have a wrong data as a source. Clear? You have to clean the data. The company may have wrong data. For example, you're cooking some food, some dish, pizza. You have some vegetables which are not cleaned vegetables. What you do, you have to clean the vegetables, right? You need to cut. If the tomato is not good, half of the tomato is not good, you cut it, right? And you take the bad tomato out, or you take good potato only. You take bad potato, you slice it, you cut it, you take the good one. Why? If you have the bad ingredients in the food, automatically you will get bad taste. Clear? So you may be having bad vegetables, or you may be having good vegetables to prepare your food. So what is important? We have to clean. If you have more and more wrong vegetables, what happens? You need to clean. You need to clean the data, and you need to create a reports and everything. So if you ask me, lot of challenges the data may be having. Clear? The company has data in different places. The company has data in different servers. The company has different sizes of data. The company has different volumes of data, different completely cleaned data, not so cleaned data. So all this data will be given to you. They will give the data to you. They will ask you, tell me about my data. Tell me about some summary about my data. Tell me how the business is happening in my company. Tell me how the sales is happening in India. Tell me how Apple iPhones, how the sales is happening in abroad. So they wanted to get lot of data analysis, understanding. They would like to understanding the past. Means the Amazon company wanted to understand how the sales happened in 2019, how the sales happened in 2018, how the sales happened in India. State-wise report, I would like to have it. I wanted to know electronics category, which brand is doing good. Is it Sony is doing good, or MI is doing good, or Apple is doing good? Which brand is doing good? So a lot of questions the Amazon company wanted to understand, because they wanted to improve their business. Is called as a business intelligence. But to create a business intelligence applications, these are the challenges that the developer is going to be having. Clear? So what are the issues we have? So these are the issues we have. So what we need to do? What we need to do? You have to get the data. So I have one source like this. This is one of the source of Amazon company. This is one of the source. They may have lot of places the servers are available. This server is in India. Java is running in this server. Clear? So you have one more US server. .NET is running in this. So you have, let me go to Dubai, and Dubai data is stored in Excel sheets. Okay, so something like this, or maybe something else. All this data is a of the source data. Clear? For example, you go to amazon.com. Let me open my amazon.com website. Clear? So do we know, do we know when you click on something, when you register yourself or you want to buy something, do you know where the data is getting stored? We don't know, but you should know that this data is going to be stored in one server. Clear? Whenever you buy some product, or whenever you cancel some product, whenever you register yourself, clear, all the data will be going to one of these servers. Clear? So this application may be Java application, this application may be .NET application, we don't know, but we don't know that this is getting stored, this data is getting stored somewhere. Clear? So these are the sources. If you're opening your for example, this is your Android mobile phone, or maybe your computer. If you buy a product, so what will happen? If you're connected to India, you have a data here. If you're buying a product in America, so you go to America, you got a job there, and you wanted to buy a product in America from your laptop, you're trying to do something, you are connected to this server, you are going to get the data in this, that you're unaware. Clear? So all the data is getting stored in this service. Now, end of the day, the Amazon company wanted to analyze what is the sales happened in India, what is sales happened in US, what is the sales happened in Dubai. They wanted to understand like that. You cannot go to each and every server, and you cannot run different applications there. What normally we do, we integrate the data, we get all this data. This is completely customer data and sales data. We get all the data from here. We get all the data from here. We are going to be integrating. Clear? We are going to be integrating all the data with the help of SSIS software. What is SSIS? Which is called as ETL software. Extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. SQL Server integration services. What is that we're going to be doing? We are extracting the data from different servers. We are transforming the data, transform the data, then we are going to be loading the data. Clear? We are going to be using ETL. Okay, what is ETL tool? SSIS is ETL tool. We extract the data from here. It could be different, software, Java, .NET, anything doesn't matter. SSIS can go extract the data, and all the data will be loaded onto one server. Clear? All the data will be loaded onto one server. This server is called as a staging server. What server it is? Staging. Staging means what? Temporary. Staging means a temporary server. So all the data from India, all the data from US, all the data from Dubai is going to go to this server. This may be there in New Zealand, this server may be in India, this server may be in America. Doesn't matter. What is the server? This may be RDBMS server. This is SQL. SQL means it may be a Oracle server or maybe RDBMS server. This is a database server, RDBMS server, RDBMS, or also called as SQL. SQL means not SQL Server. SQL means Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, Teradata, anything comes under that. Clear? So all the data from Java, .NET, Excel will be, fed into this. And what we do here, so after getting the data, we are going to be performing data cleansing activity, data cleaning. That means we remove duplicated data if you have it. Clear? Or we may merge the data, we may split the data, or we may convert the data, or sometimes we may transform the data or correct misspelled data. Correct what? Misspelled data. Clear? So something like this. So whatever you wanted to do it, all the cleaning is going to be happening here. So we get data, we are going to be dumping here, and we are going to be cleaning. Clear? For example, we go to a shop, we buy vegetables, right? So what we do, we get all the vegetables and we clean them, right? So we clean them and we'll put them into the refrigerator. So you are going to be cleaning. Where you're going to be cleaning? In your home. So home is a staging area. Temporarily, you get all vegetables to your room. You're going to be cleaning the vegetables. And after that, what you do? You take the data from here, from the staging server. And again, we are going to be using what? ETL. We're going to be using again ETL here. So what is ETL? Now we know. Extract the data, again transform the data and load the data. We are going to be using again SSIS. Take the data from here and all this data will be loaded to one more server. One more server. The server is called as a data warehousing server. Clear? So we have one more final server. So this is your refrigerator. You think like this. This is your refrigerator. So this is what is called data warehouse. Okay, warehouse is a single word. You cannot write where space house. People will laugh at you, right? Warehouse is a single word. Data warehouse server. All the data is going to come here. So how the data warehouse will be created? This is also RDBMS software. I told you, which is also SQL Server software only. Only thing is that you have large amount of hardware. Clear? If I install SQL software in my laptop can accommodate only 1 terabyte of data. But I wanted to store large amount of data. You need to buy bigger hardware. So that is what is called a data warehousing server. Data warehouse means what? A bigger hardware where SQL software or Oracle software or Teradata software, any software we're going to be installing it. So these are the softwares. Any one of the software we can have in that machine. That machine is called as a data warehousing server. Am I clear? So end of the day, all the data will go, it is going to be getting stored. For example, so people are buying and people are buying and buying. The fresh data is going to come to this server. This is what is called OLTP server. This is what is called OLTP. OLTP means what? Wherever fresh data comes in. OLTP stands for online transaction processing. Okay. So as a layman, how do you understand OLTP means? This is OLTP. OLTP means what? OLTP means online transaction processing. In simple words, wherever you have a fresh data, that server is called as a OLTP server. For example, I open now, I wanted to buy a mobile phone. I order something. So the fresh data is going to come here. So many people are going to be buying and buying. All the data will come, right? So you're buying, I am buying, everybody is buying. One day this server will be full, and at the same time in US also the sales is happening. So daily people are buying. So lot of purchases are going on after 1 month or after 1 year or after 10 years or after some time, this server will become full. You have completely full. Now what you do? Every month people are buying, so every month data, this server is full, this server is full, this is also completely full. What do you do? If the servers are full, what will you do? You switch on the SSIS. So SSIS is going to be extracting the data from here. All the data initially will get loaded, the cleaning is going to be happening. From here all the data is going to go to this. So because this is a very big server, all the data will get occupied here. Now what you do after that, you come back. Now this server will be empty. Clear? This server will be empty because you have taken all the data. Because you think about last year also, you would have purchased a lot of items. Before that year also, you would have purchased a lot of items. Where is the data? The data will not be available in OLTP machine, because someday the OLTP machines will become full. What do you mean by OLTP? Online transaction processing means what? Fresh data. For example, I go to bank today, I wanted to deposit cash, I wanted to withdraw cash. So when I do the transaction, there is an entry made to the server, right? So Bhaskar Jogi has taken 1,000 rupees today, $1,000 today. There's entry made, but everybody is doing business, everybody is doing transactions. One day the banking server will become full, right? What will do? What the banking team is going to be doing? So the technical team of the banking will be taking all the historical data, old data, because they cannot keep all this data in the server once in a year, once in a quarter, once in a month. So what they do, they switch on the ETL, they take all the data, they are going to be dumping into data warehousing. Clear? So what is data warehousing? And the data warehousing is called as what? Which is called as OLAP server. Okay. So this is what is called OLAP server, and this is what is called clear. So what is OLTP? OLTP means a transactional data, fresh data. OLAP means I'm talking about historical data. Remember this point. So what data you're going to be bringing to the data warehousing? It is not the fresh data. So after 1 month or after 1 day or after 1 week or after 1 year, you are going to be getting the data and you're dumping the data into the data warehousing. So data warehousing will have historical data. Where is the last 1 year of Amazon sales? It is not in the OLTP service. OLTP is not, Java, it is not a .NET, it is not Excel. OLTP means fresh. If you have a fresh data, that is OLTP server. Clear? If you have old data, historical data, that is OLAP. What do you mean by OLAP? OLAP means online analytical processing. People would ask you, do you know what is OLTP server? OLTP means it could be any technology, but when you have a fresh data there, that is what is called OLTP. And wherever you have historical data, that is what is called OLAP server. OLAP means historical data. I will give you simple example so that you can understand this very, very easily. You assume that you don't have any water supply to your home. Clear? You are dependent on a water supplied by government or municipality or corporation. Clear? You don't have any bore well, you don't have any water. So many places in India or all over the world, so you don't have water supply, right? So what happens? So you get a water tanker, or you get water is supplied in the street. You will have a lot of pipes and taps. You go to the street and you're going to be collecting the water in the street, right? So early morning, 6 o'clock, water comes. So you are there in the family. You supposed to go and collect the water from the street. Clear? So you have taken one bucket. Let us say plastic bucket. You have taken bucket is one ball, right? And you have taken one more steel bucket, and you have taken some more bucket. Different buckets you have taken. You went to the tap, and now this bucket is full. This bucket is full. This bucket is full. This bucket is full. When the buckets are full, what you do? You're trying to come and you have a drum here, right? So this is what is called a tank or the drum. So you're getting the water and putting into your drum. So what is a data warehouse? Data warehouse is a drum or the tank which is available in your at your home. So manually you're taking the water and you're dumping the water in this. Now again you will go back with what? Empty bucket. This is empty, right? Again you will take the water, and again you're going to be getting some water here, and these buckets are full. Now what you do? You're going to be again going and putting the this water, and this water is going to be putting it here. You have a lot of water is going to come here. Again these buckets are empty. Clear? These buckets are empty. So that is what you're doing it. Clear? What is a data warehouse? Data warehouse. Warehouse means a godown. Godown means a tank where you have a drum or the tank. You are taking the fresh water. So the fresh water will be collected in where? Buckets. What is the problem with the bucket? Small size. Clear? So OLTP, the problem is OLTP, the problem. OLTP servers are small size servers. Small size means less than terabyte. Fresh data, more read and write data. Most of the time we are going to be writing the data. Most of the time we're collecting the data into these servers. Clear? So these are simply a buckets. You think, assume like that. So somebody told you, why Bhaskar you're filling the water and coming to the home and dumping the water into the data, into the tank. Can't you buy a motor? So when you buy a motor, a pump, motor pump I'm talking about, you give the connection to this, this one. So you give the connection to this, bucket. You give the connection to this bucket, and you switch on the motor pump. It is going to be taking the water. So the motor pump is called as what? ETL. This is a pumps. These are pumps, you think. So what the pumps are going to be doing? You give a connection to the tank. You can give a connection to the well or river. You switch on the motor pump. What will happen? It is extracting the water from the well, and it is putting the water into the tank, right? So what are ETL? ETL is extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. So ETLs are simply data importing, exporting softwares. Remember this point. What is ETL? Data importing and exporting software. You switch on the motor pump, what will happen? For example, you have a motor pumps in your home, right? You have a bore well. Switch on the motor. So water is going to be taken from the bore well, and it is going to be pumping into your tank. What is a tank? A tank is your data warehousing. So if you have a data here, you need not manually copy into the data warehousing. What you do? You are going to be switching on this ETL. What is ETL? ETL is SSIS package, which is going to be extracting the data, transforming the data, and loading the data. So that is what will happen. So ETLs are called as a data exporting, importing softwares. Clear? It's very, very simple. Now, one day your mother told the water is not very cleaned water. Mother told clearly, hey Bhaskar, don't get the water and dump into tank because it is not so cleaned. Then what you do? You buy one more tank. The one more tank is this. You are putting all the water into this. In this, you're doing chlorination, reverse osmosis. You're boiling the water. Lot of techniques are used. Where? In the staging area, the cleaned water is going to go. The cleaned water will go here. Clear? So the staging where the initial water is going to be dumped with the help of this motor pump, and you're going to be cleaning the water, and the cleaned water again, you will have one more data, data pump here, data motor here, and is taking the cleaned data and dumping into data warehousing. Clear? So this is how you need to understand. And once you pump, then these buckets are empty. So that is what you have to do. And these buckets are empty. So every time we were buying and buying, where is the data? The data initially will go to OLTP server. From the server, after 1 month or after 1 year or after 6 months, we don't know. All the data is taken, all the data is kept where? Initial staging server. There is a team called BI team. These people are getting the data, cleaning the data, again dumping the data into the data warehousing. So you assume every month you are getting a 200 GB of data per month. 200 GB means I'm talking about every month 50 million transactions are going on in Amazon.com all over the world. You think like that, 30 million data. 1 million is equivalent to 10 lakhs in Indian currency, right? You have 200 GB per month. So every month you're putting 200 GB into 12 months. So what is the size? So it is a 2.4 terabyte. Clear? 2.4 terabyte per year, but I'm talking about 10 years of data. So 2.4 terabytes into 10, it is a 24 terabytes of data Amazon companies have, and that is stored in where? In a data warehousing server. Clear? So OLTP will keep the data for 6 months or will keep the data for 1 year. What is OLTP? OLTP is also one more server. What is OLAP data warehousing? That is also one more server, but this is a bigger server where you can have large amount of data. Clear? These are not very bigger server. These are like just like buckets. Bucket will be 30-40 liters capacity, but your tank will be 5,000 liters, 10,000 liter capacity. You will have a fresh data as well as old data in the data warehousing. So data warehouse is called as OLAP. OLAP means it's going to be having historical data. What is the size you're going to be having? So every month you're getting 200 GB of data. Large amount of it, last 10 years of data will be available in this. You can say my data warehouse size is 10 terabytes, 20 terabytes. That is how people will say large amount of data we are going to be having. So data warehouse is going to be storing lot of historical data. Clear? But if I store the data, somebody has to process, right? Who's going to be processing? The processing will be done by one more processing engine. What is that engine? We have one more processing engine. The processing engine is called as a cube, SSAS. Clear? So we are going to be using one more software here. So the software is called as SSAS. Okay, SQL Server Analysis Services, which is part of MSBI, and we are going to be creating a cubes. So there are two types of cubes we can create. Either we can create a multi-dimensional cube, or we can create a tabular model cube. What is multi-dimensional? What is tabular model? We'll discuss later. So SSAS is going to be processing. I told you, right? What is the processing? For example, I have 10 and I have 20. This is, I stored the data. I wanted to know what is the total. The total is 30. I wanted to know what is the maximum, what is the minimum, and what is the average. So I have two rows. I can easily sum it up. But if I have 2 billion data, 30 billion data, 40 billion data, definitely without SSAS help, I will not be able to process. So processing can be summing operation, finding average, finding minimum, finding maximum, minimum, counting. So all these things will be done with the help of SSAS cube. One is called multi-dimensional. The second one is called a tabular. Clear? So tabular is a small cube, multi-dimensional is a bigger cube, which is going to be processing. That's it. So in simple way, I will give you one diagram so that you can understand. So I have a grinder, right? Let me get to grinder versus mixie, right? Mixer. Let me go to images. Okay. Now, what is the difference between this is a mixer and this is a grinder? So grinder can do big, large amount of, this can be processed, and the mixer is a small amount of, things can be processed. Okay. Now you can assume this is what is called tabular model. Small amount of data can be processed, and this is what is called, multi-dimensional model. Clear? In simple way. So end of the day, you're going to be processing. If you have a large amount of food to be grinded, then you can go in for this. When you have a small amount of food to be processed, then you're going to be this. So this is what is called a tabular model. You can think like this. Small amount of data can be processed. Clear? And this is going to be storing small amount of data means it is going to be storing the processed data in a RAM. Clear? So it is a large amount of data. This is going to be putting all the data into hard disk. That is one more change. Clear? So either Power BI or SSRS can get, data from here or data from here also. Anything can work. Power BI, SSRS can get the process data either from this one or from this one, doesn't matter. But Power BI will recommend a tabular model. So because Power BI, sometimes we are going to be getting less amount of data. I don't need a big, multi-dimensional way of things. So Power BI by default take a tabular model, process the data, and it is going to be storing all the data into the RAM. What Stera will get stored? Aggregated data. I told you, right? I have 10, I have 20. The 10 and 20 will go to this Mixi. Then it will give you 30. The 30 will be placed where? In the RAM. That's it. Clear? So it is going to be mixing. It's more so summing up. Clear? So the raw data from the data warehousing will go to, the mixer, and it's going to be, putting. And after mixing, what we do? We get a bowl, and all the item from this we're going to be transferring, right? So where the that will get transferred to RAM. So all the mixi grinder data, the data from mixi will be transferred to the RAM. Clear? So as of now, for the processing purpose, we have lot of items, right? So like that, we have two things that is available here. One is called SSAS, a multi-dimensional model, bigger grinder. A tabular model means a mixer. You think like that, it's going to be processing the data. Now, the processed data will be given to the reporting tools. Clear? So what reporting tool we're going to be using? So let me take this. What reporting tool you are going to be using? Now, any reporting tool you can use. Any reporting tool you can use. That is what is the point. Now, all the data is going to come to reporting. So end of the day, I would like to create a beautiful reports. Now, what kind of reporting tool I can use? The number one reporting tool I can tell you, Excel. Or people can use SSRS, or people can use Power BI, or people can use Tableau, right? So this is what is called a Power BI. Power BI is what? It can create a lot of visualizations. Clear? And the Power BI is going to get the data from where? It can get the data from multi-dimensional model or tabular model, or any reporting tool also can get the data directly from data warehousing. That is also there. Or if you want to create a report, you can also directly go to Java and create a report. That is also there. I can go to directly Java. I can directly go to .NET. I can directly go to anywhere, and I should be able to create a report. Report does not need, only cube. Report needs a data. Data may be coming from cube. Data may be coming from, data warehousing. Data may be coming from OLTP itself. Data may be coming from, .NET, Java, Excel. Data may be coming from anywhere. Clear? So SSIS is a MSBI, and SSRS is a part of MSBI, and SSAS is a part of MSBI, and only Power BI is reporting tool. Clear, guys? So that is what you should be able to understand. Clear? So is there any business standard to recommend which cube is required? It is depends upon the data size. Clear? It is not a business. What is the data that you have? It depends upon that. So if you have a large amount of data, definitely the mixer cannot handle it, right? So you have only one option, that is multi-dimensional. When you have terabytes of data, the better go in for what? This one. When you have GBs of data, go in for mixi. Mixi means mixer means small amount of storage, right? Small amount of data can be grinded there. So that is the size is GBs means a tabular model. If we have terabytes of data, go in for what? Multi-dimensional model. Clear? So what is MSBI here? MSBI is getting. So you need MSBI. So what is MSBI? SSIS we need, SSAS we need, SSRS we need. If you don't need SSRS, go in for Power BI. If you don't need PBI, you can go in for Excel, or you can go in for Tableau also. Tableau is also one more reporting tool, right? So this is what you should know. Clear? So many people are telling, unfortunately, Power BI is replacement for MSBI. So if the Power BI is replacing MSBI, who's going to be performing ETL operations? Who's going to be performing, processing operations? All these things are going to be handled by MSBI only. Clear, guys? So that is what you need to understand. We are going to be creating a lot of visualizations and lot of reports with the help of Power BI. So SSIS, if you wanted to learn, it will be 30 days course. And SSAS, if you wanted to learn, it will be 15 days course, right? Data warehousing, if you wanted to learn, it will be 1 week course. Clear? And reporting and SSRS will be 10 days course. Clear? Power BI, so as we discussed, it is 35 days course. Clear? So if you learn Power BI, so we are going to be understanding what is Power BI, what is data warehousing, and what is a tabular model. So these things we are going to be discussing. Clear? We are going to be learning what? We are going to be learning what is Power BI, and we are going to be discussing what is tabular model, and we are going to be discussing what is data warehousing. Clear? So these are the things the Power BI course will have, and Power BI plus MSBI the companies are going to be using. Not only purely Power BI. Power BI is simply reporting a tool. Clear, guys? So that's what you need to understand. And it has a lot of other features that we're going to be discussing one by one from tomorrow. So this is what is the thing. So very, very important interview question. What is OLTP and what is OLAP? So this is very, very important question, interview point of view. Clear? OLTP means we knew. What is OLTP? Online transaction processing. So what is the meaning of this? I told you, wherever you have a fresh data, simply wherever there is a fresh data, that is called as OLTP server or OLTP database, OLTP server. OLTP means wherever you have a fresh data, okay, and wherever you have read and write data. 80% of the time we are buying the items, right? So remember, so you go to amazon.com, what you do? 80% of the time people are buying the products. You go to the bank, what you do? Once in a while you check what is my balance, but most of the time what you do, you transfer the funds, you deposit the funds, you withdraw the funds. You go to airline.com, what you do? You book a train ticket, cab ticket, this ticket, that ticket. All these sites are called as OLTPs only, remember. So people would ask, do you know OLTP softwares? Yes, whatever we are using, OLTP, online transaction means we are booking fresh train tickets, movie tickets, this one, that one. Most of the time we are only writing the data, fresh data, and small amount of data these servers are going to be storing. Clear? So small data, so maybe in GBs, maybe you may be having some 500 GB of capacity in this server, or 1 TB of capacity, one that is full. You're taking the data from SSIS and putting the data there. Clear? That is what you need to understand. Small amount of data and read and write data. This is what is called normalized data. What is normalization? I discussed clearly in your SQL Server classes. I also discussed this point again once in your data warehousing concept. We'll discuss this point. What is normalization? As of now, you don't worry. Normalized data. and which is, you know, normalized data, and less indexes are used. What is index and everything? We'll discuss later. So this is again part of SQL concept. Clear? So you should know SQL very well, RDBMS concept. Less indexes are used in OLTP servers, and end users are connected. You and me are end users, and more users are connected. So these are the differences. Clear? OLTP means wherever the fresh data, small amount of data it can store. It could be any application, Java application, .NET application, doesn't matter. If you have a fresh data, that is OLTP server. Remember this point. But what is OLAP server? OLAP is called as data warehousing, right? OLAP is called as data warehousing, where you have historical data of the company. Create. It is not fresh data, which is history of the data, historical data, and it is not read and write data, which is a purely read only data. Clear? Because history nobody should modify. Will you modifying last year transactions in amazon.com? You cannot. It is not small amount of data, large amount of data. Every month you are getting a 200 GB per month into 1 year, 2.4. So it is approximately, so 24 terabytes of data we're talking about for 10 years. Clear? Or it may be 10 terabytes, it may be in terabytes of data, which is a denormalized data. What is a denormalization? We'll discuss as part of SQL. Again, we'll discuss as part of data warehousing concept. Less indexes there, you're going to be having more indexes. What is indexes? You will be learning in RDBMS and SQL. And who is going to be using this? So all the data will be analyzed by the business users, not the end user. Who's business user? Who's business user? For example, who's going to be analyzing the reports? Is it you? No, you're not the guy. You're the guy end user. Business user means the part of CEOs and Amazon CEOs, Amazon managers, Amazon CEOs, officers. So whoever wanted to take care of the business, those are called managers, officers, right? So CEO, CFO, these people are going to be analyzing the reports, and they wanted to understand how the business is, growing. Clear? So the reports are end of the day will not given to the end user. End user means you buy a product, you don't get how the business is happening in amazon.com. That is irrelevant data to you. So what you need, I wanted to know whether my product is shipped or not. So that is OLTP query. In OLTP, what will connect, will ask what is the status of my product, whether it is delivered or not delivered. But what is the manager is going to be asking, what is the sales of Apple iPhone, let us say model number 12, sales in India, sales in Dubai, sales in America, sales in Canada. So this kind of a things the company wanted to have it. Clear? So this kind of reports the company management wanted to see, and they wanted to understand whether sales is happening, quite good or not. If it is bad, then they wanted to take a decisions to improve their business. Is what is called as a business intelligence. If Apple iPhone is not doing very good in India, immediately the Apple iPhone company has to do something, or Amazon wanted to discuss with the Apple iPhone, and they do something. You buy Apple iPhone, and this is what is free, or the 20% of the Apple iPhone rate is cut, price is cut, or you buy Apple iPhone today with this price. Lot of offers will get released, a lot of advertising will happen because of this BI reports only. Clear? So BI is used to understand trends and patterns of the business. Clear? Since we have a large amount of data, without machines help, without software help, you will not be able to do everything. For example, if I give all the data to you, as a human being, can you do the calculations? Can you do each and everything? You will not be able to do it. So we need to have a software there, we need to have a hardware there, and you people have to work with the software and hardware. You create a beautiful reports. These reports are given to the company's CEO, CFOs. Clear? Business users, these are very few people are going to be there. Business users, or these people are called as the decision makers. Clear? So these people are called as the decision makers. I will give you simple example, and I will let you know. So what is your role? You are called as a data engineer role. What is your role? Or you will be called as a BI developer. Clear? What is your role? Data engineering. So what you do, you collect the data, you clean the data, you store the data, you process the data, you create a report. These reports are delivered to the business user, company's CEO. That is what you do. I give a simple example. Yeah. Any questions, guys? You go to the hospital. You are not well. Okay. You have a doubt that whether you have a corona or not. You go to the hospital. You met the doctor. Doctor is saying you go to the lab and do this medical test done. Right? We have taken the paper. Go to the laboratory lab. Right? So what they do? There is a lab technical assistant will be there in the lab. So technical assistant will be there or lab technician will be there. The lab technician is going to be collecting the blood, collecting the weight, collecting the body temperature, and storing all the data in a somewhere, and processing the blood and everything. Is going to be creating a report. That's it. So lab technician is collecting data, collecting blood, collecting data, process, storing the blood and everything, and processing the blood and everything, creating reporting. This report will be given to whom? Report will be given to the doctor. Who's doctor? Doctor is a decision maker. Doctor can tell you whether you have corona or not. So your role is exactly a lab technician role. What you do? You collect the data of the company. You process, you store the data. The lab technician collecting the blood samples. They're storing the blood samples in a refrigerator. They're cleaning it. They're processing it. Create a report, lab report, that will be given to the decision maker. So data engineering means you will be working on ETL, get the data, clean the data, you process the data, create a report. The report will be given to the decision maker. Decision maker means what? A business user. So you're not going to be analyzing why, whether this guy has a corona or a cancer. That is not a lab technician's job. Clear? Lab technician job is collect the data, collect the blood, process the blood, store the blood, create a report. So end of the day, the report will be gone to the end user. That is not end user, to the doctor. Doctor is a decision maker. Clear? So we will be part of data engineering team, be a development team. You may be working on SSIS, you may be working on Power BI, you may be working on SQL Server, you may be working on any this module. Clear? It is not guaranteed that you will be working on morning to evening Power BI only. Sometimes you need to work on SQL Server. Everywhere SQL Server is included. In SSIS, SQL Server is included. In Power BI, SQL Server is included. In SSRS, SQL Server is included. In a data warehousing, SSAS, everywhere SQL Server is included. Clear? So when you get a job, you may be working anywhere. Clear, guys? So this completes the Power BI demo, and it is a compulsory an interview question. What is the interview question? What is OLTP and what is OLAP? Okay. I will send these notes also today because I have already covered a lot of things here. I will be sending these notes also, and I will be sending the video after some time. You give me your, questions you ask me, you give me your email IDs. If you give yesterday, that is fine. Otherwise, no problem. So tomorrow we'll continue with Power BI. Clear? How to install Power BI and how to work with Power BI, what are Power BI components, all these things we'll be discussing with the same meeting ID and same time, and daily 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. I have taken 15 minutes extra time today, and it will not be like that from tomorrow. And Monday to Friday we have classes, no class on Saturday and Sunday. Clear? For features and all, you talk to my team, and you continue from tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Any doubts?
I have one questions
Yeah, please.
about the OLTP. So I know the OLTP, there is two type of table. There is a master table and the transaction
That
table.
we
So
can
my
discuss. What is
question is,
master?
the master tables data is transferred to the through the ETL to the warehouse or no?
That
Only for the
we'll
transactional data.
discuss because day one itself, I should not, I don't want to answer this question. We'll discuss this later. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, because people should know what is a master table, what is a dimension table, what is a transactional table, what is a fact table. All these things will be discussed in depth. No worries about it. Yes, very good question. We'll handle this after some time. So Power BI, SSAS, tabular model, cube, data warehousing. Yes, clear, guys. What is that we're going to be covering? I told you clearly. Once again, this is what we're going to be covering. Power BI with the DAX, SSIS Tableau model, data warehousing concept, 35. What is not covered also, I told you, you cannot underestimate SQL Server. I told you, if you're putting 1 hour of time for this, you need to put 2 hours of time for this. Clear? And lot of job opportunities. Any non-IT people also can learn. It's very, very easy, and hope you're able to understand clearly. Thank you so much, guys. We'll continue from tomorrow. Is this good or bad? Do you like this demo?